So we might as well go ahead and say goodbye to PayPal, to Venmo, to Cash App, to Apple Pay, to Zelle, and say hello to the government taking complete control. I don't know if you've heard, but the government is launching their own Cash App in July.
The Federal Reserve is launching a new money transfer app. It's called FedNow. Businesses and individuals receiving or sending money will have full access to funds immediately.
So today we need to talk about this, how it affects us, and if this is actually an undercover way for the government to start getting rid of physical cash and turn into digital currency. What's up, guys? This is Monique and welcome back to the channel. I am back with the news that you can use, but first, if you are new here, hello, bonjour, hola, aloha, konnichiwa, wagwan, shalom, assalamu alaikum, jambo, namaste. So let's go ahead and first start with what in the world is FedNow, because we need to first understand that before we can get into any of this other stuff that's going on. So FedNow, like I said earlier, is basically Cash App for the government. It is the Federal Reserve's new instant payment system that will be launching in a few months, and it is supposed to help businesses and individuals be able to transfer money instantly. The idea is that this will be faster than traditional banking. They're saying when it comes to using FedNow that in instances like what happened during COVID when they had to send us these stimulus checks using FedNow, they are saying that we will be able to get these checks instantly. So to me, it feels like they believe they have discovered a new idea. It's like they think they found fire when fire already exists in the form of Zelle. So for that reason, I have been digging a little deeper, trying to get a better understanding of why in the world do y'all feel like we need this. So what I found is that Zelle, of course, is a private service and it's owned by some other banks. So what this means is that not all financial institutions are in Zelle's network. There are actually some smaller credit unions and banks that may not have access to Zelle. So in this situation, what FedNow is saying that they want to do is just make this available to more people. Regardless of the size of the credit union or the bank, they're basically trying to make this an inclusive payment system for everyone. Now, as lovely and beautiful as all of that may sound coming from the government, is this really something that we the people want? Let me know down in the comments. I'm going to tell you one of the major problems in my opinion. Think about this. If everyone is using FedNow, then the government can monitor every single transaction that everyone makes. And I'm not just talking about the amount of money that we send and receive, but also who we're sending this money to and who we are receiving this money from. This could end up being a serious invasion of privacy, especially if the government starts using this information for other purposes. And yes, they are saying, well, right now this is only so that you can send money quicker, but who's to say down the line that that's still going to be the reason that they are doing this? This is something new that they are developing. Just like, you know, with anything new, there are going to be alterations to this thing. They will be making changes throughout different phases of this. So later on, they can just be like, you know what, we'll start tracking these type of things or watching where they're going over here. So it's just a little skeptical to me. Let me know down below what you're thinking. And it's not about whether or not you have anything to hide and don't want them to see your account. The thing is, how much of yourself do you want to give access to the government? Now, another thing to think about when it comes to this, if you may or may not know, but there was a recent law that passed that said that these services like PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App needed to start reporting the money that you receive if it is over $600. And they're supposed to report this to the IRS, give you a 1099-K form. But if FedNow is the Cash App platform, then guess what? They don't need any more reports because IRS has direct access to what you are spending, who you are getting this from. So is this app really just a way for the government to try to close that tax gap? And according to the IRS, the tax gap was estimated to be $441 billion per year. That's a lot of money that they need to make up for and account for. So this may be a way for them to make sure they're getting all the money that they say they're supposed to be getting for taxes, because you know a lot of people be fixing hair in the kitchen and getting money under the table here and there, and they may be using some of these cash apps. Now, I don't know the extent of what kind of access they'll have, but just like with any bank, if you call and say, hey, someone's using my card, all they have to do is look up your bank account and they can see every transaction. So if the federal government has these transactions in their hand, then of course the IRS will probably have access to it. I'm not saying definite. Again, I don't know specifically what's going to be going on, but that's something to think about. Another thing people are concerned with is the possibility of the government being able to block some of your transactions if you're going out to buy particular things and they don't want you to get it. And it can be anything that they could reject these payments for. A lot of people just feel like this is too much control that the government have. But one of the main things that most people are concerned about is the fact that they feel that the government is trying to turn to the digital dollar. They're trying to become a cashless society. Now, the Federal Reserve states that FedNow is a service that allows banks and credit unions to transfer funds more quickly. It's not a form of currency, nor is it a move towards eliminating cash. However, when it comes to these digital platforms, you know, the more we use it, the less we use cash. Not saying that this is something that they are intending to do, but it's just reality. If everyone is using FedNow to transfer money, there will be less of a need for physical cash. People can use their smartphones to just pay their bills and pay their groceries and pay for everything else too. So it is possible that physical cash can become less common. However, they are saying this is not what their goal is. But regardless of any of that, it's also important for us to know that not everyone will have access to digital payment methods. And a lot of people don't feel comfortable using them. I know some people who will never ever even get a Cash App or Venmo account. They prefer to use their cash. Some people still stuffing cash under their beds. So to say that this is going to completely do away with the cash, I don't know about that part, but I do see how there are concerns with people feeling like there will be less of a need for cash. I mean, because everything's becoming digital, whether we like it or not. So it's really hard to predict how FedNow will have an impact on physical cash or on any of these other things. If they'll be able to track your money, I mean, which is the government that have control of your transactions. So to say that they wouldn't be able to track your money, I mean, to know the extent of how far they're willing to go when it comes to tracking your money, who has access to these, what departments, you know, just getting a better understanding of how all this unfolds. I think it's going to take us some time. We're going to have to watch this together. So this is pretty much all I have for you today. Please don't forget to like this video for me. It really helps me out, even if you don't like the idea of FedNow. But other than that, I thank you so much for watching, and until next time, we are out. Peace.